guys, welcome to my channel. Today I just wanted to share with you this kale sausage veggie soup recipe that I actually got from Himalayan's story on Instagram. It's really easy and really versatile, so here we go. Stay tuned. I will be sure to post the recipe down below. However, I will let you know ahead of time, I don't really measure things when I cook, and when she posted this recipe, it was with no measurement. So this is my second time actually making this soup, and I will, to the best of my ability, post how much of each ingredient I used. So the first things first, you want to go ahead and get your sausage. You can use spicy or mild. I choose to use mild for this recipe, but you're going to make it into little sausage balls. You can do about bite-sized pieces, no more than ½ inch across. You don't want to do super big. It's better to have them to be smaller so you can have more bite-sized pieces of sausage all spread out throughout the soup. I'm actually going to cook the sausage first, and I'm actually going to cook it in the pan that I'm going to cook the soup in, so that when the sausage cooks, it's going to create those juices. It's even going to brown the pan a little bit, and that's actually going to add a level of flavor to the soup. So as you can see here, I'm just going to ball the sausage up and place it directly into the pan. The heat is not on yet. I wait till the very end until I'm almost done to turn the heat on for the sausage. Most of these ingredients we keep on hand. The thing I love the most about this recipe is its versatility. You can take away ingredients and add ingredients based on what you like, and I just think the versatility of that is really great. Once you're done with your sausage balls, just go ahead and throw them on the heat. You want them to cook all the way through, and even add a little oil to the pan if necessary to keep them from sticking, which I forgot to do. Some of them are falling apart, but it's okay, just because they were sticking to the bottom. While the sausage is cooking up, I'm gonna go ahead and cut up 2 full white onions. These ones are a little bit sweeter, but I definitely recommend using white or yellow onion for this recipe. I'm just gonna roughly chop them. They don't have to be chopped super fine or anything, but just make sure they're chopped up. But onion is really good for building flavor in the soup. We're almost done. We're gonna add the sausage in at the end, so you wanna make sure it's cooked all the way through. I'm gonna do about 5 to 6 garlic cloves. It seems like a lot, but it adds great flavor. And garlic is actually really good for your immune system. For the garlic, I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of mince it. It doesn't have to be super small, honestly. You could just chop it up, but you do wanna make sure that you chop it up good, because this is gonna help the flavors to distribute well throughout the entire soup. We are garlic lovers in our household. Last time I used 5 cloves, which was good, but I decided to up it and do 6 cloves this time because we love it so much. Once the sausage is fully cooked, you just want to put it in a dish and set it aside until the end of the soup making. This is going to be added in at the very last 10 to 15 minutes of cooking. Just put it in a dish and set it to the side. See all that? That's all flavor. So we're going to throw some butter in here, and then we're going to start to saute our onions. So we're going to put this back on the heat, and then we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of butter. All that brown stuff in there, that's going to help build flavor for the soup. And next we're just going to pour in our onions. So we're going to saute these until they're translucent. So it's going to be a good 5 minutes, I'd say, before these get cooked down a little bit. And then that's when we're going to add in our garlic. We just want these flavors to marry for a little bit so the flavor can begin to build for this soup. Let this cook down. Scrape that bottom. That sausage, that's going to help add flavor to the base. That's why it's important to cook the sausage in the pan that you cook the soup in. You don't have to. I didn't last time and it was still delicious, but try and do that. While the onions are cooking down, I'm gonna go ahead and chop up celery. I ended up using about 4 stalks. Once again, you can do this per preference. If you want more or less celery, just go ahead and do that, but it will help with flavor and adding more vegetables in the soup. I just cut these in little round circles like this. We keep baby carrots on hand, so this is what I ended up using for the soup. You can use regular carrots too. I just kind of roughly chop these up as well. Another reason I just love this soup so much is because you can use whatever you do or don't have on hand and omit or add ingredients based on what you have, which will be extremely useful during this COVID-19 quarantine. chopped up nicely, and the onions have cooked down beautifully, soaking up all that flavor. As you can see, a lot of the brown from the bottom of the pan has now absorbed into the onions, so this is when we're going to add in our garlic. Stir it up. And now this is actually when I season it. I try my best to put amount. Just mix that in. Next, we're going to go ahead and add in our celery and our carrot. I'm going to let this marinate for a little bit. I'm going to skin these and then just kind of chop them up roughly. Everything's rough chop, nothing has to be perfect, so just gonna peel the skin off. And I feel like, you know, if you don't want to peel the skin off, you don't have to, but I prefer to have them peeled. So I'm just gonna peel my potatoes. The original recipe did not call for potatoes, but I did make it my own, and I decided to peel and roughly chop 2 gold potatoes. You can omit these, of course, or even sweet potatoes might be nice to add in there, but I challenge you, go ahead and make it your own. They do add a nice meatiness and help the soup to be more filling. Now that we've kind of allowed these flavors to marry, now we're going to go in with our chicken stock. We've got some Nature's Promise organic chicken broth. We're going to go ahead and add in 2 whole containers of chicken broth. You can use vegetable broth or whatever you prefer. Last time I actually used a combination of both just based on what we had on hand, and it was delicious with the vegetable broth and chicken broth too. So just go ahead and add those in and give the soup a good stir. So after I add in the broth, I'm going to add in my potatoes. And then we're going to let this boil for 15-20 minutes or until the potatoes are soft. And at this point, it's a good time to taste the broth. You just want to see what the broth tastes like. See if you need to add anything to it. I'm going to taste it. Let's see. It needs salt. I'm going to go ahead and add in a little bit more salt. All good. So next we're just going to add in the last couple of ingredients. First we're going to go in with our meatballs. Then we're going to go in with some mushrooms. I just sliced up some mushrooms, and then 1 whole can of corn. When Christina Milian made this, she had frozen vegetables, and that's what she ended up using. A part of that was mushrooms, but I had fresh mushrooms, so that's what I ended up using. The original recipe did not have sweet corn. However, we love corn in everything. So 1 whole can of corn here will add great flavor and a little pop of sweetness. Next, I'm just going to go ahead and add in the kale. I ended up using the rest of our old bag and adding in some more from our new bag. This is so subjective. We love kale here, so I ended up, I'd say, using about 2 to 3 cups of kale in here. It just adds a great color, and it's a really great way to get in greens as well. Just the different flavors of all the different vegetables in here. You get that pop with sweetness from the corn, also a little sweetness from the carrots. You get that green, delicious flavor from the kale, and then you get that sweet sausage taste. It's just really good. And the mushrooms just add a little bit more body too. And then you've got a neutral flavor in there with the potatoes. I'll let this sit for another 5 to 10 minutes, just kind of letting it marry and get itself together. And then I will plate it up and show you guys what we're looking like. what we looking like for the finished product. I already know it's bomb, but I'm gonna try it again because, you know, gotta keep it authentic. Let's see what I get. So good. Whew. Hot. But really good. Mm.